Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be doing a brake job on my 2003 Yamaha G22. Now most carts on the market all have the same drum brakes on the rear end, so this is easily transferable over to your cart if you have a different brand or model. For my parts, I'm going to be looking to use 10 LOL parts. Now this is a company that has golf cart parts, they have accessories, they have pretty much everything you're looking for in order to work on your cart, either to maintain it or to accessorize it. So check out their website. I will leave a link in the description below for that. And let's get to the brake job. So the first thing that you're going to want to do before you start is you're going to want to chalk your tires. So you can either use like a 2x4 or whatever, but I'm just going to use a wheel chalk, and that's going to stop my cart from moving. Also, you're going to want to disconnect any power source or any batteries, like either if you click off your solenoid underneath the seat, and then that way, while you got your hands in here working on anything, anybody comes up and hits the gas pedal or anything, you're not gonna lose a finger. So just make sure you switch off your cart and put it in a safe state. Okay, now next I'm gonna wanna jack it up and put these jack stands on so it stays in the air, doesn't come down on me. We have it on our jack stands. So now I can get rid of this jack and have more room to work. Okay, now next I'm going to be removing my tires. Now I do have a set of impact sockets, but I need to use a regular socket because I find the impact socket is just too tight in here with these aftermarket rims. So I'm just going to see what happens if I use just a regular. And it seems to be working just fine. Okay, this is the old brake drum. Actually, I'm also going to release the brake so that there's no tension on this line. There we go. And these are the new drums that I'm going to be replacing it with. Yep, that's perfect size. I might actually. There we go. That's the old drum. This is going to be the new drum. Take our cap off here. Ooh, we could use a good cleaning in here. Next we can remove the cotta pin. So I'm going to want to reuse this, so I'm not going to want to bend it too far out of shape. There we go, pin removed. And let's get this bolt off. Okay, now we want to be very careful working in around these threads because that's going to drive the actual wheel. So we need to make sure we don't damage this plate here. Went ahead and remove this brake cable. This was on here, and there was just a pin that ran down, and then it was held on with a cotta pin or carter pin. I think it's cotta pin, and that's it. So now I just need to get a wrench on here and then my impact on the other side. Okay, so now you can see on the old one, I actually do have still a lot of meat left on my pads here. So I probably could have just done maintenance by tightening this up, but nonetheless, I have brand new stuff, so I'm going to use the brand new stuff. And you want to make sure to keep this area clean here, as well as you want to clean up inside your, this is right where your bearings are. So if I was doing full maintenance, I'd pull this clip out, pull my bearings out, grease them up, and then refit everything, but just doing the brakes today. So you definitely got to make sure this area where your bearings are nice and clean. New brake pads and the new brake kit looks like. So when you reinstall, you can see here, this lever here, when this gets pulled, that's what's going to brake your cart. So it needs to line up with this brake cable here. So we'll reinstall it like this here. Okay, once you're satisfied your cotta pin's not going to back out and this pin's not going to drop, you're good to go. So next I'm going to want to put some anti-seize. Okay, now that we have the anti-seize on, okay, and then replace the pin. Okay, once you have your cotta pin back on, now we can put the drum on. And you can see we have a lot of play there. So what we're going to want to do is take this back off, and there's a little wheel right there that we can move in order to spread this apart so that it puts more tension on these pads against the drum. Flathead screwdriver. Getting closer. A couple more, I think. There's more friction. That's right where I'm going to want to stop. So that is perfect setting for the brake. As you can see, it's not moving as freely as it was last time. So that's good. Can leave that there and put the tire back on. We can go to the other side. Place our cap. And also something else I'm going to be installing are these 1-inch aluminum spacers. This is going to bring my back tires out 1 inch, which is going to be perfect because I have aftermarket tires and I have an aftermarket flare kit on here, and it looks kind of silly with the tires tucked in, not even out where the fender flares are. So what I want to do is bring these out so that the fender flares, tires sit under the fender flares. So these come with all the hardware, and all you do to put in one of these spacers is put it on the original holes and bolt it up. And there we go. Now let's take a look at the difference with the wheel spacer. So as you can see there, the tire actually fills the fender flare perfectly. I think any more than 1 inch would just been silly. And then if we come over to this side, you can see how that tire is too far tucked under that fender flare. So a nice 1 inch spacer worked out perfect. Now that looks a lot nicer. Okay, time to do the other wheel. So one thing I will mention, I did come back and take off the spacer and the brake drum and that, because I realized that when I go to the other side and put my new brakes on and everything else, I'm not going to be able to feel the friction of the pads to know if the pads are spread apart enough to be the same as the other side. So now it's just back to free floating again. see if I can, ooh, that came off nice and easy. And that seal will break, and again, we actually still have some decent amount of padding on here. So I'm going to hold on to these anyways. Okay, and then the new brake pad just gets its 4 bolts. Okay, I've got these 4 bolts back in. So next is just to put the drum back on and get our friction, and then I'm ready to put the tires back on. We have 10 LOL. Very nice. A little bit of anti-seize. We'll try that. Oh, more. Actually, I would say that is, see the difference? That's more free flowing. Let's tighten it just a little bit more. Now this is going to affect your overall range at first, just until these pads get worn in. No, not enough friction yet. So now it's just where it's not free spinning. And you can see the difference. I can put my spacer 1 inch on here. Okay, now I can put the other tire back on, and that's almost it for this brake job. And then at the cab of the cart, you can see here at the brake and gas pedal, there is a mechanism here that kind of rotates whichever cable is more tight. It will kind of variate between the two of them to make them both the same pressure. But as you can see, I've got quite a bit of play here between the two. So you should only have, it's in your manual, I believe it's about 1 inch if you put a straight edge here and then come over. You should only have about 1 inch of play, and I've got, you know, a good probably 4 inches, maybe more. So what you're going to want to do is loosen up the lock bolt. You can just back that right up, and then I want this to come forward to tighten up. I'm going to check that. No, we're still too much. Oh, we're getting closer. Then you can use 2 wrenches, one on your lock nut and one on your lock nut and your adjustment nut. And then you're done. And there you go. Brakes are all complete, on, ready for the next season. Now before I go, I just want to talk about their battery cables. These are 4-gauge battery cables. It's always a good idea if you're running an electric cart to put a size up. Actually, let me get a set of the old cables that came off the cart. Now these are a set of the older cables. Yeah, you can see here we're starting to get corrosion and everything on the actual cable itself. And this is just gonna slow down your cart. You're not gonna get the performance you're looking for. These here are 6-gauge wire, and the new ones are 4 gauge, so it's going to allow more current to flow through for better performance. Now I want to cut off some of this heat shrink here in order to show you. And they're using actually really good heat shrink on these because it is glue in the inside, which is very hard for me to remove. See, now as you can tell, we have this whole entire sleeve here, and then we have a hydraulic crimp right around here. So this is a very, very professional lug. This is going to give you a lot more current flow, so check out their battery lugs. I mean, original and aftermarket, so you can see the difference. Like, these are top quality lugs. So if you like my video, you want to see more golf cart stuff, got some more videos coming up in the future, and thanks for watching. Bye.